And we are live for another episode of the Fuel by Generosity podcast. Good evening, everyone. Happy, what day is it? Happy Wednesday. Hope you all are doing good. Hope everybody's having an amazing day. I want to know, for those of you who are going to be signing in and checking in and listening to this podcast show today, I want to know where you're signing in from. Where you're tuning in and hopefully get to engage one another on a deeper level today. But I'm excited about today's show. I'm excited about today's podcast show because I have a very, very, very special guest. She is amazing. She is wonderful. She is none other than my beautiful, amazing wife, Erica Aqua. So before I bring her on, I just want to again welcome you all to the Fuel by Generosity podcast show. This is our third episode, and we are learning how to get better at this thing called podcasting and recording live with all the ums and maybes and go figure those filler words. But nonetheless, we want to make it fun. We want to make it engaging. As you all know, the purpose of this podcast is really to help us. Bring you closer inside the Generosity Global brand, what we do, our mission of providing food, of providing clean water in Africa, as well as providing food to people experiencing homelessness here in Baltimore. But outside of that, we want to broadcast and bring people who are using the power of generosity in their communities, both here in America as well as around the world, Africa, Europe, Asia, wherever they are, using the power of generosity to do good for people in their community, for people in their lives, and changing the world by doing that. So, it's really all about building this global community of people who are doing good and connecting each other, connecting us to others that are doing amazing things. And what I found is we may not all necessarily have the same passions or whys or causes. What we do at Generosity Global may not be a good fit for you, but maybe somebody may be doing something amazing with cancer or childhood obesity or something, or just something simple and that strikes your heart. Our goal with this podcast is to be able to connect you to these people and to be able to connect with them so that way you can deploy yourself fully at their service to do good and to impact the world. So I'm going to soon bring on Erica. So much to say about her. Just an amazing, amazing soul, amazing woman. I have been fortunate to be married to her now 9 years, and we will be celebrating our 9-year anniversary tomorrow. And so what a better way to interview her. But, in this podcast, we're going to talk about our relationship, our marriage. We're going to talk about building Generosity Global. That first day, we both went out to hand out food to people experiencing homelessness in Baltimore. We're going to talk about the struggles, the trials. We're going to talk about marriage. We're going to talk about parenting. We're going to talk about just whatever we can fit in over the next hour. So as we get ready, I'm going to bring Erica. She is backstage right now. So with a drum roll, here comes Mrs. Erica Aqua. Let's see. There she is. Hey!
GG Village. Hello.
Hello, Erica.
Hi, husband.
How are you?
GG Village. It is so good to be here. I'm honored. Thank you, husband, for allowing me to be on this platform with you. And I'm excited. I'm excited for today.
Yeah, today is going to be a great show. I figured, we are celebrating, 9 years now?
Yeah, 9 years. 16 years together.
Huh?
16 years together.
10 years together. Yes. Wow. It has been 16 years. Oh, my God. And you've put up with me for 16 years?
I know. No, I'm still sane. Yes, I am.
You're still sane?
Yeah, I'm still sane. So,
okay. Yeah. So, okay. I know exactly what to do. I feel you. I hear you. And I'm not going to, yeah, we're not going to say much. But welcome. How are you? Since the last time I saw you.
I know. I'm doing great. I am very, like I said, I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited to celebrate our anniversary, and I'm also excited for where we are in Generosity Global and where we're heading to. It's a lot of things going on right now. Husband for allowing me to be on this, and I'm just thrilled that God has given us the opportunity to
Yeah, we're not going to say much, but
build an organization on the ground and allow it to be where it is right now, and we're moving forward.
awesome. I mean, yes, it has been a journey. It has been, yeah, 9, 10 years in the making with the organization, with Generosity Global, with building where we are to this point, and it has not been always easy. It has not always been smooth. It has not always been without its various challenges. However, here we are almost celebrating 10 years of GG, December 24th, 2010, correct? Yeah, 2010 was. And then now, we're looking almost 10 years later, we are still here, still building and still trying to use the power of generosity to impact the world. So in those 10 years almost, how has it been for you?
To sum it up, it's been life changing. And one, if I had to just talk about the 10 years in a summary, if I look at it at different phases, it can go deeper than that.
Mhm.
Basically, I believe that when you and I had this idea, we were 27. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
We were young, and the one thing that really connected us, which is why I believe, which led to the birth of Generosity Global, is that when we first met each other, before we even had our first date, our one of our very first conversations was about humanity and the desire that we both had to do good in the world, to achieve a purpose from our higher calling, and more importantly, to really touch the lives of so many people. So I believe that connection that we had was really what led us to that night on December the 24th, to go out, and you initially had said, let's just gather some blankets. At the time, we were even new with our cleaning company, New Vision, and just asked a few of our clients. I think it was 40 or so, and we took those blankets, and we went without any hesitation. And that for me was the start of really, I guess, unveiling what it really looks like for people within the Baltimore community who are homeless.
Right.
We took that risk to say we don't want to just donate and drop off at a shelter. We want to engage.
Yeah.
We want to be on the ground and actually have a conversation and really find out what is life really like. And we did. Although the blankets, they were gone in about 2.5 seconds.
Right.
I think that beyond that, that opened us a way for us just to have conversation and get to know so many people that night. And that's there, from there it started.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is one of those things that when I look back, we could never, and I don't think we ever said we wanted to build something this big or something this grand. It was really just a matter of going out and serving people where they were. As you said, really meeting the need. And I believe that's really the essence of what Generosity Global has been built around is, it's one thing to give, it's one thing to donate, it's one thing to, but it's something different when you actually go and meet people where they are and help them in whatever they may have need of. Which just happened that night. It was food and blankets and clothing. And as you said, in literally 2.5 seconds, everything was gone. But yet we had a line of
Yeah.
people still waiting to
Mhm.
be helped, to be assisted. And you decided that we're going to do what again the next month?
Yeah, because I'm emotional. I'm very sensitive, and you are. I just wear my emotions
Clear
on
my
my
throat. Just clear my throat.
sleeve. So it was a unanimous decision, when after because we went during the time when Baltimore was slammed, like pretty much slammed with snow.
Right. Oh,
We
yeah.
had just had a blizzard, and I cannot remember the gentleman's name. Maybe you can, but he had kind of built like a igloo or like a hut type thing to keep, him kind of having some type of shelter in the midst of all this snow and ice that was coming down. And it's kind of like when your eyes are open once you've been exposed, you even turn a blind eye and you walk away,
Mhm.
or you open your eyes even wider and say, okay, we got to dig in this. We have to, this is not something that is coincidental. It's actually something that we need to take action for and figure out how do we do it. And we did. The next month we gathered friends. It really started out from friends, just people that we know, people that said, hey, we want to join this. What did we get? Popeye's chicken,
Yep.
and just what we
Your
could.
home, your homemade macaroni and cheese.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
I miss the. Can I
Yeah.
say that I actually miss making mac and cheese like that for? Because now that we have so many volunteers, which we're so grateful for and thankful for, in the very beginning, it was like that. We would get up. You would get up around 3 or 4 in the morning, peel the potatoes for me.
My famous potatoes, right?
Yeah, and I would make the mac and cheese. We would do the beans and literally leave our house with like large trays of food just to go down and make sure that everyone, was eating and that we were continuing the mission of what we started.
Yeah. Yeah. It again, it's like going back down memory lane. You could really see, just the growth that we have experienced. And last month, or was it this month, 2 weeks ago, that was from that first night, Christmas Eve, till last Selfless Saturday, which I mean, that particular night eventually became what is known as Selfless Saturday, or grew into what we now call Selfless Saturday, and that has grown for 115 consecutive months without any stop, without any interruption. And even through this last few months of COVID, we've been able to serve people, just as we did that very first night, and it's been special. But
Mhm.
beyond that, we've been able to do so much more, right? The organization has been able to do so much more in terms of growing our impact, our influence, and our reach. So you've been there, you've seen everything, you've seen the growth, you've seen the moves that we have made, that decisions that I have made, and some have been good, some have been bad, but at the end of the day, what was it about building this that was special to you? What I guess yes. So the next year after starting, we got married, and so you're like, okay, this guy's just crazy with his dreams and stuff. Did you ever had that thought about, like, crazy big dreams and
I knew that before we got married.
oh, you knew that before we got married? Okay, so yeah, so you accepted that
Mhm.
he's just a crazy guy and he just has his dreams and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
so as we went along, how did you see what were you thinking about the brand? What were you thinking about Generosity Global? What were you thinking about as we were growing?
So as we, as
And share, like, your thoughts and your chat, your fears and all that stuff, if any.
so as we went along, it's funny because it's there's so many layers involved in this. So but the root of this is the fact that I believed in you. I still believe in you. I still believe in the power of generosity, and I believe that the initial connection, the basis for our foundation, besides our faith in God, is really our love for people. And that is those two components right there, my belief in you and my desire to continue to want to impact the world and make the world a better place, is the reasons why I stuck, that I'm committed to Generosity Global in the bad, because it has been I would say this past years has been like a roller coaster ride for our family.
Mm-hmm.
There have been some very, very high moments, very, moments where I'm like, wow. And Shannon, we love you too.
Love you, Shannon. We
I
see
can't
you.
even go
Thank you
there.
for everything.
Um, yeah, there's been some high moments, and again, it's been people like Shannon and I don't even want to start naming
If you
people.
start naming names, we may run
Right,
out of the show.
but just know that we have a strong force behind us, and people that stepped in, especially when we gave birth to our first son Joshua. That shifted for me, because we started this together and more so hand in hand. And I felt a place at that point where we were kind of striding along in unity as one. But when I got pregnant with Joshua, and then for those that don't know, we had a Joshua at 29 weeks, so there was a NICU stay involved, and then the transition of having a new baby home, and now becoming a new mother, and then some of the financial struggles that came with that during that time. It kind of pulled me away a little bit from Generosity Global. It pulled me away from Selfish Saturday. I wasn't cooking as much, and there was I guess I would say I felt like there was a gap, between me and Generosity Global. So it was like, here it is, this organization that I so believe in, and more importantly, my husband, who is leading this initiative in such an amazing way. But I think for a while there was a loss. I was really lost, and what does this look like now, and balancing marriage, family, motherhood, and everything else. So,
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Again, I want to welcome everybody who's tuning in live to this broadcast, to this podcast and our show. Today's show is it started with just two, and this is episode number 3 of the Fuel by Generosity podcast. And Erica Aqua, my wife, happens to be our guest today. And we are just basically talking about the origin of Generosity Global, how we got started. And as we continue on our conversation, our chat, we're gonna, talk about more things about where we are today, where we're trying to get to as an organization. And certainly it's not about just her and I, but really about the village and the community that surrounds us, and the people who have really helped us along the way to build this brand to what we have right now. And we are truly, truly grateful for all the support, all the love, all the care that people have shown us over the years, and cannot have been we would not be able to get to the point that we are if we didn't have people jump in and just throw themselves at whatever it is that we were doing to support. And so you mentioned how you felt separated. I'm sure that has gotten easier for you over the years, because you chose to keep having babies after the first one, right?
Well, there's a beauty in motherhood, and what I'm learning is that being present in the season and when you're in, and owning the space that you're in within that season, and acknowledging it and voicing how you feel during that season is very, very, very important.
Yeah.
So I enjoy being a mom. I have, we have 3 beautiful boys.
Yeah.
Didn't see three boys coming. Thought at least we
Good
get
boy.
one girl, but
Guess what we had done?
but
Yes.
but honestly, it's I think it's been when I now reflect now, because Isaiah is turning a year, so I reflect now on the past 6 years of either giving birth, nursing, all the things that went down. There's so much that's happened, and that's why you just can't talk about the bad and not talk about the good, because even though there was a lot of challenges for me personally in this, the bigger picture is that Gigi has grown. We are now we have led into two countries. Our team has grown, with now we have our country director, our regional country director, Tabby George, and now we are also in Kenya with Job and working closely with Job and Nancy. And then let's not, forget the team that we have here, helping us on a daily basis, like Kristen, Sonia, Danielle. Like, it's just been a blessing to have these beautiful souls in our lives. And honestly, I truly believe that if it would have been the safe thing for Gigi, just for me personally, if Gigi just stayed where it was and then Erica didn't go through her trials. But the fact that Gigi has grown, and those trials that I experienced as it has grown, has one helped me evolve as a woman, as a mother, in my purpose personally, in our marriage, and more importantly, just seeing God move in ways that we never would have seen
Yeah.
before.
I mean, definitely, it's been big. It's been amazing. It's been challenging in terms of marriage, in terms of just building and believing, even when we do not have all the answers for the organization and the moves that we've been trying to make financially and all of that stuff. But we've just kept going.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody who's watching. I just want to make one quick shout out. There's a lot of people watching that are watching probably on my personal page or your page. If you are making a comment, for some reason we cannot load your comment up to the screen on this broadcast. But if you want your comment to be shown on our screen, just go over and watch directly from Generosity Global's Facebook page, and from there I'll be able to see your comments. I'll be able to put it up on the screen, and it will be easier for me, so that way I'm not looking down at my phone just to see what people are saying. But I'm just going to read a few comments that have come in so far. Let's see. We have my sister Titi in Cameroon, and she's like, "Hi, my lovely people, happy anniversary." And then we have my aunt Chantal, who's like, "God's chosen people, the Lord will reward you for all you're doing. Thank you." And we have Candace, fabulously powerful couple. Thank you. And so if you want me to read your comment, or just want me to put your comment on the screen, please go to Generosity Global's Facebook page, and I'll be able to see your comments. I'll be able to see your interaction. We'll be able to engage more in a simpler way. But let's get back to the show. Generosity Global expands into Africa. We go into Cameroon, right? We start those projects there, and what happened with in terms of you coming? Have you been there, right?
Well, I've been once.
Yeah.
I experienced December 2013, and that was with Mahdi's orphanage right after the very first mission ball.
Right.
So I was able.
Years ago.
I know, it's going fast. So I was able to be immersed in your for the first time where you grew up, your home village, your homeland, and more, learn more about your culture, and then also just learn more about the water crisis there. Learn more about. I mean, there's a level of poverty that I saw when I went there that I had never seen before. Yet there was also a level of gratitude from the children. And I think to this day that still resonates in my mind, is the experiencing those beautiful young souls, those innocent kids, and how happy they were just for simple things.
Yeah.
And that's when, after we left Cameroon in 2013, 2014, I had Joshua. And so the next year, I believe you went with Mitch.
Yeah.
And I have not been able to go back yet and experience all the water projects and things that are happening.
Right. So
I look forward to it. I want to.
I know you do. So let's keep it real, and let's because we have this conversation, and the behind the scenes of how difficult it is for you raising. Let's just fast forward for all the projects that we've done up to date, and with I would say up to 2019, when I just came back, with me being gone sometimes for 4 or 5 weeks at a time. Like, keep it real, as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, what has that been? We talked earlier about you feeling not connected and separated from Gigi, but keep it real. Like, how has that been for you?
I mean, it's been honestly, in a whole, it's been challenging, because in what people don't see is that the amount of time and efforts it takes to when you're away, and not even when you're away in Cameroon and things, but even when you're here, Gigi is very demanding on the family, and so when you're gone for 2 and 3 and 4 weeks, and we had, the last time you went, we had an 8-month-old, a 2-year-old, and then a 5-year-old at home, and that was, I believe, probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest. And the trip that you had before that, I think the more that you were traveling, and the longer spaces that we were gone, and then the bigger the mission became, I felt more of the burden, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. There was, the disconnect. Those years that I was saying that I really felt so lost, was the fact that it's like a fight. You have like an internal fight, where you have this passion and you have this desire to pour into the mission. I wanted so badly to pour in, but you weren't in the position really for me to leave the kids, and someone had to really hold down the home front, and then someone had to manage so many things personally, and that takes and takes and takes, and I didn't realize how much I was giving and how much it was taking from me. I didn't realize, this is recently that I realized that that I really did suffer depression, that I really did have a loss of identity for years, that I really did get consumed, and I was almost like a functioning robot for a while. And it's like, when you're gone, it's almost like there is no time to breathe. There is not any time to really just take a breath. You're constantly on, your mind is constantly going, and you're not thinking about yourself. And for so many years, that's how it has been, for me, not thinking about myself because of everything that was going on around us. So I think the lesson that I'm learning in all of this is the fact that well, there's two things. One is that I think we struggled in our marriage during this time, because I held a lot in. There wasn't a lot that I said to you, and we were really kind of two people passing in the night, and so to speak,
Or guess and get in bed.
Yeah, we definitely were, because even when you were gone, I mean, even when you were here after you came back, there were still many nights and days that you were gone. So I think it's now that we've had these real talks of like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Well, this is how I'm feeling. This is the burden. And it's sharing those thoughts and being authentic and being real and giving yourself time to really heal from that. Because the thing is that when we started Generosity Global, we didn't see all of this. We didn't see how parenting kids, how growing personal growth for me, I had a lot of growth since we've gotten married as a woman, as just Erica as an individual.
Mhm.
And I don't think I had the opportunity to really share that. So that's why I think a lot of the challenges that I had faced as Generosity Global, and even within our marriage, as we continue to evolve and grow and our love for each other, it has propelled me to pour back into women,
Mhm.
because it's so common for women, particularly in seasons of having young children, or maybe even having big goals and visions, or married to someone who's very ambitious, to say, whoa, whoa, hold up, where am I, like, who am I?
Right.
And not being that functioning robot, but being that person that's like, um I love you, but speaking the truth for what you need and the
Right.
things that you need to be the best version of yourself.
Right. And I mean that, for me, as a husband and as a man, sometimes we lead and we're going, and we do not necessarily stop enough to see the burden that it places on the household. We think we have everything taken care of, provided for, the bills are covered, this and that. Even though sometimes the bills were not covered, right? Sometimes
Keep
the,
it real, babe. Keep
the
it
bill,
real.
like I will call you from Cameroon, like, hey, move this money here, move this money here, and make sure that bill is paid. Before I finish that, let me give a big shout out to Rosemary Ataga, who is one of our biggest supporters, as well as she is doing an amazing work as well for herself in Cameroon with her
Oh,
foundation. Does a lot of good work with her foundation, doing kidney and addressing needs in Cameroon. But she's like, congratulations, and keep up the keep going. The world needs you. Never forget that. Bigger things await the foundations. You're biggest blessing, and the world in ways cannot be expressed. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Rosemary. We appreciate you for that. And so, yes, like as I was saying, as a man, we did not stop long enough to take inventory. And yeah, I am out in the world doing this and impacting so many lives. But until we had that real conversation, my wife was at home suffering. When I
mhm.
called you, like, everything is good, but you were at home suffering. And I think of recent, now I have really gotten to see the toll and the strain, and how much me being away and me having this drive and having this vision, and we having this collective vision to build this thing, has impressed on our family and our marriage, and all of that stuff. But the thing about it is, we addressed it, we talked about it, we have talked about a lot of things, and still healing from a lot of pain and a lot of hurt and a lot of disconnect that we experienced over the years, and we're still in that phase. But you mentioned something about, in the midst of all that, you have this love for connecting with women.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, I believe it was 2 years ago, you had this vision. We had this vision about, how about, since you have this gift, you have this calling, because any woman that has spoken to you, I tell people, you need to start charging for your services that your girlfriends call, to get some advice, and like, you need to start charging. But any woman that has spoken to you, know that you are blessed, know that you have this anointing over you, know that you have this way of speaking life into any situation and into people's lives. And you had this vision, as a woman, for Generosity Global. So let's talk about that vision.
Yeah, so I believe it was two mission balls ago, and honestly, that vision came to me probably at the lowest point that I felt, as a woman, as a mother. I literally went have been the mission ball that you guys saw me on. I literally probably faked the funk for a long time. I think last mission ball, 2019, was the first mission ball that I stepped out and was like just feeling myself, just feeling like Erica, not the fake smile, but really just like, okay, let's do this. And that's where Generosity Women, was formed, because mind you, I haven't been to the field yet, but just in talking to you and researching and realizing that water is really the catalyst for so many things, and that women are the ones that are burdened with carrying water, getting fetching the water and bringing it back to the home and managing the home. the thing that I realize is that our circumstances are so different. I don't have the burden of fetching water for my house. I don't have the burden of my children having dirty water and those things. But I think the what I feel for them beyond that, because the we can Generosity Global gives access to clean water. That's what we're doing. But on a deeper level now my heart is more so on the women themselves, on who they are, their identity.
Right.
That's where I can feel them, and like feeling the disconnect in who they are. Women that are burdened with not just carrying water, but they're burdened with shame.
Yeah.
They're burdened with fear. They're burdened with loss of identity, loss of who I am. They're burdened with so many things. And that is the area that I want to tackle in Generosity Global, beyond just the health and the hygiene part. Outside of Generosity Global, I coach, as Rich talked about, how I love to just talk to women. Well, I've used it to turn into a coaching business, a transformation coaching business, because many times when I talk to women and men, I'm not a man, so I can just speak from a woman's standpoint. That so many of us, we feel broken, we feel depressed, we feel disconnected, we feel like our voices aren't heard, we're unseen, and those are symptoms. Those are symptoms to what the real issue is. So overall, like, I took my love for coaching, my love for understanding women and how we're wired and how we're built, our emotions. And I pretty much said, through Generosity Global, let's create this women's initiative where in the areas in the communities that we are giving clean water to, let's build what we call like women's centers.
Mm-hmm.
And the women's centers are basically going to be like the place where they receive self-care, love, attention, and education. And it's like we're taking, because when women are walking to get water, this is more like, if you have told me, like their girl time. This is their ability to connect with other women, to talk. So when we're taking away the distance that they are having to walk for water, this center is almost going to replace and be this place, safe haven for them to have the girl time, to have the talk, to have their health and hygiene needs met, and most importantly, to start to build up their self-worth and their dignity, and their self-care for themselves, and learn. Their young daughters can also learn this now at a younger age.
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing to see that vision grow to where it is today. When on my last trip to Cameroon, we launched our first women's center in Cameroon, in Maroua, Cameroon, which was you didn't think it was going to be, it was a surprise, because our Africa region director is like, don't tell her, he had it on lock. So quick shout out to Tabby, George. But beyond that, you have been able to connect with some women recently, and one of them is based in Kenya, and the other one is, who just came back from working, Zambia. She was working in the Peace Corps, and you all are in a powerful move right now to do what for women?
Yes. So, shout out to Militant Bright and to Nancy. Nancy is our coordinator in Kenya, and Militant has consulted to me on this new initiative that we're doing, and it's really tackling women's hygiene through their menstrual cycle, and learning about their bodies through pregnancy, through sex. See the layers, the shame and the pregnancies and so many things that are happening in these areas are really due to one, more lack of education, poverty, and lack of access to water. So one, on just the basic level of that there are women and young girls that when they come on their cycle, they do not have the necessary supplies to be able to manage that. That in itself is something that I can't sleep with at night. And Millicent who spent some time in Zambia, felt the same way. And so immediately we wanted to build an initiative where um, we wanted to just train the women, not for a short-term basis, but a long-term. How do we build sustainability? All right. Because in order for a woman, for us to start talking about a woman's self-worth, their dignity, her identity, well, the first thing that we have to solve is her access to sanitary napkins, to being able to manage her period, to learn more about her body, to learn about these things that seem so basic to us here in the United States, but they're so foreign, and really they're not easily to talk about. So a lot of these women are shy. They don't really want to discuss sex. They don't talk about these things, and then they don't understand why they're pregnant. So we're creating a program where women are trained now how to make a pad, and we're creating courses and curriculums surrounding this so that we are connecting the education of learning about your body, learning about your cycle, learning about sex, learning about pregnancy, learning about maybe other topics in women's health, and connecting that to training on how to use your pad. So this way, a woman now has a lifelong skill of how to make a pad, how to manage their period. You know, this now first helps with this whole shame. Young girls are able to go to school. They don't have to miss school now because now they actually have access to sanitary napkins. And women are learning now things that they never learned that they can teach their daughters. And so this now begins to change the narrative of the story on a lot of levels.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible to see what has been done in such a short period of time. With once you teamed up with Nancy and once I was in Kenya and connected Nancy and Job, and then brought them into the village, and we started talking about how do we really scale generosity women in our work. Before going, let me talk about a few people that are giving you personally some shout outs. We have Andrea Iblum, who's great to see you both. Happy anniversary to the most generous and amazing couple. Shannon is like amazing leadership. Gwemuma is great teamwork. Janelle, incredible partnership, marriage and love. And what else do we have? Andrea, amazing leadership. Appreciate your honesty, Erica. It's a lot to balance and the constant struggle to prioritize. Thank you for being you. So it's a lot of love coming in. Just again talking about your transparency as a wife, as a leader, as a woman, and all of that stuff. But as it pertains to the mission to empower women, what drives you? What is fueling that desire?
Well, what? Like, I really believe that the one thing that you suffer from, the pain, they always say, like, your pain becomes your purpose, your suffering becomes your seed, your hardship is your harvest. It's taking all of me. It's taking all of my experiences, because even prior to Generosity Global, as you know, I'm a writer, and I wrote a book for women that spoke on this issue of insecurity, feeling not enough, feeling as if we're unworthy. I've struggled with that even, growing up and going into college and things, doubting myself sometimes, not having the confidence. So it's on a global scale. Like, God has really healed me and now positioned me. It's like he's taken me from a place where I thought I was, on the bottom, unseen, overlooked. And because you experienced that personally, it's now like he's like, okay, you trusted me enough. Now I'm lifting you up to a higher platform now, because there's so many more women that need you. And that's what drives me. It's the idea that women here and far, we share that same experience. And you know what you know because of how you've experienced things, how you felt, and then you've seen God's grace and God's favor over your life. You only know that because much whom is given, much is expected to get back. And so now I believe that this is our way. This is our platform now of you and I working together, to empower women, help bring the basic essentials, the basic needs to people. I mean, we're talking shower, we're talking water, food, supplies for menstrual. These are basic needs.
Yeah.
People are needing, and as I said before, how we started this, when your eyes are open, you even look with a broader lens and say, Lord, use me into my full capacity, and you march forward, or you close your eyes and you turn the blind eye, and you walk away.
Wow.
And I just don't have it in my heart to just turn a blind eye to walk away. I believe that I was made and created for this.
Yeah.
All the years of what I have endured, and through that, the blessings that came from that, the knowledge that I have, the experiences, all that has now come into now of my desire to coach women, to build them up as leaders, to build them up as women who love themselves, who feel that they are worthy, who are going to make decisions now based upon their worth and not based upon what they feel that they are, and going into so many countries, Cameroon and Kenya, and just listening to, because the thing is this, I have what in my head where I see this going, but just like we said, we never want to come in and kind of intrude. So I speak to Nancy. I get a chance to learn about the women in Kenya. I talk very closely with Millicent, who spent time in Zambia, and have her give me stories of what they are experiencing. And more importantly, we have questionnaires that go out. We have a questionnaire that's out right now in Cameroon and Kenya, that's very detailed.
Mm-hmm.
It really kind of gives me layers of the women on a personal level,
Yeah.
starting from like questions of like, how do you feel on a daily basis? Like, I want to come in and get to know you as an individual, as a person. How do you feel? How does this make you feel? So the feedback that comes back from the questionnaires allows me to connect with the women personally, which then allows for the impact to be made. We never just want to come in as an organization and say, this is it, but we want to come in and meet that need that you need personally.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible once you understand the cultural context of what we do, and when we go into certain places and villages, it's never about what we want to do and what we think it's best. It's always about what do you believe is best for you as a person, as a community, and then we can integrate our systems, our processes, and adapt it to you. That way we can serve people the best way possible and get the best results out of it. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing that we look for in terms of like measuring it's always how long can we sustain what we do. It's not just a one-time thing. It'll be easier for the program to simply give pads and but the reality is that's not sustainable, right? That is, we keep putting our money to give pads and help women with it. It may need a one-time need, but long-term, that's money down. It's not sustainable, and
Not good for the environment.
not good for the environment.
A lot of toxins, and most importantly, what we thrive off at Generosity Global is being able to not just restore dignity and hope, but allow for the individuals to become not dependent on us, to become self-sufficient.
Mhm.
And it's so important that when we are, going to different areas and meeting the needs of women and bringing water, that we develop programs, we develop ways where it's sustained in the communities, where if we're no longer there, whose leadership are they under?
Yeah.
If we're there, like, what can we have? Because the thing is this, also a lot of women, there's opportunity there that once that they learn these skills, these are things that they can actually take into other areas and begin
Right.
to monetize, to make money from. So
Mhm.
that's something that really is like new to them, because most of them are just knowing in the agriculture field, and some of them are forced just to do agriculture only. But what if they had a way out?
Yeah.
What if now that they had a way out to say, I want to make my own money and save up and maybe go to school here or go to college here. And I can use this skill, I can now understand skill about health, skill about things that we never talked about before, but now I have this knowledge and can take it to other places and expand my gifts, and my options are now better for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Gifts. I think we all believe we all have those gifts, but if it's not harnessed and it's not, encouraged, people just live their life without really tapping into it and eventually die. But I believe that the work that Generosity Global and Generosity Women is doing is really helping women realize those gifts and really tap into those gifts and live a full life, a life where they can be used to their fullest potential. A few more comments before we continue. Kia, awesome couple, happy anniversary, great job, thank you guys. Andre I. Bloom again says, congratulations on Generosity Women and your coaching business. And guys, again, unfortunately, if you're commenting on my page directly, I'm not able to see it on my dashboard. If you're watching from our Facebook page, then I can see it. If you make a comment, I can, post that up, and we'll be able to, keep everything in sync. So all of this has been a bed of roses, right? Financially and all of that stuff, like building it. It's been just easy, right?
Oh, I wish that was the case, but it's it's interesting because in the midst of us doing so much and giving so much away, we struggled. We struggled immensely with our finance. I believe I can almost go back and say every year since we got married.
Yeah, since we got married.
Can we first just share the story about how we were on our honeymoon and split a Burger King?
Yeah, you can talk about that. I like when you tell that story.
Yeah, we were on
What happened?
honeymoon.
Wait, no, can you rewind to our wedding night of Things Got Stolen?
Yeah, so oh gosh. I don't know. We had a huge wedding, okay? I don't even know what to say. If anyone knows anything about Camerooni, African, all that, the culture, my husband, they love big things. They love big things. So we had a huge wedding, and we thought we had security in the wedding, but someone came in and literally stole most of our wedding presents.
Crazy. How does that happen?
And I mean, out of 300 people, we don't know.
We have no idea.
Because we had security, we had a list. We thought the wedding was on lock, but nevertheless, that happened. And then we went to away on our honeymoon, and yeah, we were broke. We were
honeymoon.
We stopped at a Burger King, right? I think we were going to one of like the attractions, like a different beach off of the resort, and got hungry. And so Rich said, "You want to split a Whopper?" And I think it was like a Whopper Junior. I don't even think it was like a full size Whopper. So we split a Whopper, some fries, and Coke. But we say this laughing. But I think that that's the one thing that I think just keeps, when I say that I believe in my husband, it is, I really can't explain the depths of how much I believe in him and his vision, his leadership, because this man is relentless in making sure always that myself and our boys have what we need, and will sacrifice at all costs, for people, and that is a testament to know that the person that is leading this organization, the one that I'm doing life with, the one that I'm co-leading with, is so sacrificial on a personal level, and then to people that he doesn't even know. It makes it more easier for me to stick by him through the good and the bad. It's like a no-brainer. It's like a no-brainer because the resilience that you and I have had over the past 10 years, I don't think we have enough time to talk about how many obstacles financially that we have gone through, but one, God is good for us. He has still come through, but more importantly, like, we have just been this couple that's like, man, we're gonna stick this thing out. We're gonna fight, and we believe in ourselves. We believe in what we have, and we believe that we are going somewhere that is going to just rock our world. And we are just been living like that. We're living on the edge, and we are overcoming so much. But I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. And that's the truth. There's no other person in this world that I would even think about doing life with, that I would even think about maybe throwing my shoe at when I get mad, or even think about running to get a hug or anything besides you. It's just
Oh,
that simple.
oh, that was so sweet.
Yeah. Just
I'm so touched. I'm so touched. Oh, we just had one of your sisters join in. I cannot see her comment on the screen, but Linda is up. She's like, just joining, guys. Happy anniversary. So again, thank you all so much for the anniversary wishes. We appreciate it. We thank you. We love you guys. Erica, 9 years of marriage.
Mhm.
9 years. Like, I mean, what I mean, what am I doing wrong to still be in this, or what are you doing right? I mean, I don't know.
Whew, I know. When we were cleaning out our house and getting ready to get the home on the market, I told you I went back and looked at some of the first things that you gave me, and it takes me by, like, wow, we have really done life together. And as I said just to you a few minutes ago, I think it's a testament of the fact that we are two individuals who just refuse to give up, and who love each other immensely and love life. And more importantly, now that we're parents, we love our children so much, that we want to just continue to be better people, a good example of marriage, a good example of, for you, the best father you can be. And I want to be the best mother that I can be, the best at anything, so that they see the very best.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a journey. It's
It's
been it's been a journey, and Linda just stole my thunder. Love does conquer all.
Mhm.
I believe that we've been through a lot of things, personally as a couple, and as a husband, I have to say I am immensely grateful to you for putting up with me and sticking by me and believing in me, and even when things did not look very clear in terms of where we were heading, you never once ever question if this was the right thing to do, but more so have always been that voice of encouragement in my ear to just say keep going, right? Like, just keep supporting. And I believe with us, it's just been the factor of knowing that there is this thing that we believe in, which is faith in God, and the trust that we have that everything is going to be all right. I mean, we've been through so many peaks and valleys, and I would say valleys, but overall,
Mhm.
we're still here, we're still pushing, we're still leading. But as we land this plane, because we are approaching 1 hour, it's been a fast
Yes.
last hour. As we land this plane, let me read this comment real quick. We need to do a dance to this 9 year, but maybe we should cancel this year and celebrate next year as well. So we're working on that. But as we land this plane, one thing I'm happy as your husband and is to see you come to life with, now that we have and you have given birth to Generosity Women, and seeing how much this sparks you, seeing how much this gives you life. I see you night and day, like, basically putting yourself all in,
Mhm.
going all out. You and Millicent spending
Mhm.
the entire day doing some instructional videos and teaching
Mhm.
women in Africa, in Kenya specifically, about how to make a reusable pad. To
Yeah.
see you blossom into the woman that I always know that you can be, that you are. It's a beautiful thing to watch, simply because this is what God designed you for.
Yeah.
And for you to step into your original design, into your original plan, it's a beautiful thing to watch. And as somebody who gets to see the behind the scene and the front row seat, I am I am simply, in awe into like what you and all these amazing women, not just in Africa, but also the women here in America, that you all have formed this beautiful sisterhood and community and love and partnership, where they are really supporting the vision on everything that we are trying to accomplish as an organization. So I thank you for lightening the load for me, as well as giving us men a female's perspective when it comes to doing work that is impacting women, right? Because we just don't see it. So speak to that briefly, and then we're gonna lead to our close.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the nights, the thing is this, when you're so passionate about something, and when you go all in about something, it doesn't feel like work. Like there are times when, because of the time difference, I'll have like a 12 a.m. call
Yeah,
with you, and I won't get into bed sometimes like 1:32, but it is so worth it. When I say that I am so excited and so blessed to just be around just phenomenal women,
yeah,
that share purpose, that share their love for people, and that are just good people, good hearted people. I mean, it's a blessing to get up each day and say, I can be a mother to my children. I have a wonderful husband. And then I get to go out and spend time helping women fulfill their purpose, become
still coming
leaders.
up, your sister.
Oh, love you too, sis. Love you too. It's just it's like a blessing, because each day that I get into the office, or if I'm from my laptop, it's just more excitement to come in and say, today I can impact women, today I can touch women. I was actually sad because, due to the COVID, we I had a coaching group that
Yeah.
I was doing, through a my great friend Isia Ragsdale, who brought me in. She's a director of a facility that offers counseling, and she brought me in, and I really connected to six phenomenal women for 9 weeks, and we were on the cusp of our graduation, and COVID hit. So
Bam.
yeah, but I say that to say, when like it is when you are just doing what you're created to do, it doesn't feel like work. And then, more importantly, to when men are able to understand what we go through, because so many times we're not. One of the questionnaires that went out is like, how do men make you feel? And in most cases, in these areas, like especially in Kesey, the men don't make the women feel good. And I believe it's because it's the lack of understanding who they are, how they're wired, what does this mean, and looking at them on a more equal playing field. We're not going to be able to eradicate all of this. There's definitely gender inequality in this world, and that's a whole different topic.
Yeah,
But I want to do something to help close the gap.
yeah,
That's really what I want to do. Help close the gap, so that, and I know in our household, in our marriage, I'm equal to you, and there's not anything, that you could say or do either, even if you wanted to, that would make me feel less equal. But not everybody has that, so it's just more closing the gap, talking to men, letting them understand their wives, their daughters, their sisters, and the women in their community, and tagging them along to say, hey, how can we do our part to help you grow? As we close, I want to say this, like the
Let
one
me
thing.
let me phrase that before we close. Before you close, well, Linda says the graduation is postponed, not canceled.
Mhm.
And then my good friend sister Kibbs says, "Rich, you're an amazing, great guy." Well, thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. And your wife is amazing too, with caps, all caps on that.
Thank
Excellent
you.
job, guys, to keep inspiring the generation. So, Kibbs, thank you so much for that. Sister Tracy says, "Beautiful, she loves you." And a big yes. And Linda, again, it's a journey. You're each holding each other's hands. So we've been able to hold each other's hands and join in this journey together and be able to take our falls together financially, take our falls together even when things don't go right, even to this present day.
Mhm.
We're taking some hits, we're taking some falls, but we keep pushing forth. And as we wrap up this show, as we land this plane, as we bring this to a close with you and your vision for our Generosity Women Initiative. You have a lot of right now. You have a lot of women who are listening to you. You have a lot of women who are listening to you. The sound of your voice, and are some of them may be in the position of leadership where they are leading. Some are just figuring out how to lead and how to get started and what they need to do. As we speak on the power of generosity and the power of doing, what advice as we close? And I'm going to give you that word as a way for us to close out, to inspire those that are listening to you, encourage those that are listening to you. What advice, in 1 minute, what can you tell these women and men who may be listening? What can you leave them with them? This is your one final chance to.
Oh. It honestly, it really is very simple. There's so, many, we all come in different, shapes, forms, different talents, different ways, different backgrounds. So, we're all made uniquely and beautifully. And I think just accepting who we are is key. Accepting who we are and our strengths and in our weaknesses, owning it, embracing our identity, like not allowing an experience or a circumstance or a season to define who we are. If you allow for, depression or anxiety or anything that you are experiencing at this point, and you choose to live in it and not, decide to, use prayer, use counseling, whatever it needs to take to, allow for you to manage that. Then it's like that is the label that you're going to see yourself through. That is the lens you're going to see yourself through. But when you realize and say, you know what, I'm experiencing depression or experiencing anxiety, but that is not who I am. That is not me, and I'm going to use counseling. I'm going to pray. I'm going to do whatever I can to not allow those emotions to define me. Then you begin to embrace yourself as the queen, as a king, as a person who God created to do great things, as one who can go out to this world and achieve. The thing is this, it just takes the first step. And every day now I wake up and say, how can I be the best version of myself? And when you have that in mind to say, I want to get up now and become the better version of myself, not saying that you're not going to have flaws, not saying that you're going to always get it right, but you had the intention to be the best version of yourself, then you begin to walk in greatness. You begin to walk in authority. You begin to walk in confidence. You begin to command worth. You begin to say, hey, I am walking now because I am a queen that I know that I command the very best because I am the very best. And you don't have to have it all figured out. It really just takes time of self-care and reflection, and I'm a spiritual person, so I'm going to always say, going to God and say, God, reveal to me the plans that you have for me, because I believe that you have plans that are good for me, and where do you want me to go? And those things are going to work out. When we started Generosity Global, we didn't have the footprints to get into Kenya. But what we did was we started. what we do every day is we wake up and say, I'm going to be the best that I can be. And so women who are single right now and looking to maybe get married, the one thing I'll leave you with is this: have the commitment to become the best version of yourself, and then marry someone who's going to help you continue to cultivate that, who's going to hold you accountable for that, and who's going to love you through that. Who's going to say, I'm going to support you in any way because I love you so much that I want you to become this. And when you become this, and I see you walking in this, no matter what God has for me, I'm going to just be so happy for you. And then if men do the same and marry a woman who wants them to be the best version of themselves, that's what you call a healthy marriage.
Girl, you are speaking to women right now, because I just see hearts flying. I'm seeing hearts flying. Speaking to
women. Coming together that says we are committed to be our very best for each other, for our children, for the world. And when we put our best foot forward as husband and wife, nothing and no one can stop us.
Woo! Man, I mean, you dropped the mic on that one. I don't even know how to conclude and how to land this plane. But I would say, before you leave, before I let you go for today, because I ain't letting you go. But before I let you go right now, how can women who desire to be part of the Women's Initiative, both here and in Africa, in Kenya, how can they get in touch with you?
Simple. Just send me an email. You can inbox me through Facebook, or simple, send me an email, Erica, ERIKA, at generosityglobal.org. Erica, generosityglobal.org. Before we had the COVID, I did have kind of like a vision meeting of a small group of women where we, came together, and there were so many different ideas that we had of how we can just keep the engagement on, the girl talk going, things that we can do here and abroad. And that had a pause, but right now the best thing is just email me, and I'll definitely will, connect with you, and we'll go from there.
Wow, Erica, my love. It's been a great hour and almost
an hour.
Hour 11 minutes. I'm not gonna talk about your, you know how it is. When you get behind the mic, you just roll, right? So I'm not the talker, you're the talker. But at the end of the day, it really was fulfilling having you on this show. I have dreamed about us doing this together, and just to have us on this, I guess, the first half of our show, the first 3 episodes, it just happened to fall so timely on our anniversary eve, which is 9 years. And I just want to let you know that I love you so much. I thank God for you so much. I pray for you every day. And we've been through our journey, but I am looking forward to building and growing and pouring into you the best way that I can, as a husband and as a man and as a leader. And I thank you for always having my back and always helping me be the best version of myself. Because as you were speaking to the women, I was talking about being the best version of myself too, right? So, I thank you for helping me see my flaws, and even in my stubbornness at times, I do thank you for all that you are. So I thank you for being a guest on the Fueled by Generosity. Oh yeah, you're gonna pay me, right? You're gonna pay me.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're doing maybe lunch or dinner tomorrow. We gotta figure it all out with the kids. What plans do you have for me on our anniversary? Like, in terms of like you taking me out somewhere?
What plans?
Yeah. Like, you taking me out?
I'm waiting.
And Linda, please be quiet. Don't be saying nothing. Linda.
I'm waiting for you to give me the game plan.
Oh, you waiting for me?
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you all so much for tuning into the Fueled by Generosity podcast. Today is our guest today has been none other than my beautiful wife, Erica Akwa, who is our Director of Women's Initiative for Generosity Global, and is leading an amazing team in Kenya and Cameroon to help women discover their worth, as well as help them fall in love with themselves all over. And the work that is being done is amazing. And if you haven't had a chance to watch the video that we posted, which is our COVID-19 response from Kenya this year, please log on to my page. Go to my first post today was on that video. Please watch that video and share it. And for all of you who donated, thank you all so much for your donation. Thank you all so much for making it happen. Thank you all so much for your support. Again, we say everything that we do here at Generosity Global is fueled by the power of generosity. We have not been able to do anything without your support. We've not been able to raise funds or impact lives or drill wells in Africa or build a shower truck here in America without the power of generosity. Generosity has truly fueled us, and we are counting on that generosity going forward. Just because we have bigger goals, we have bigger dreams, we have bigger ambitions. We got to build our teams where we need to be able to pay people. 10 years ago was just the last 10 years, it was just me, but now, people are adding on, and so we got to pay people. We got to pay staff, but we believe that the power of generosity is going to get us to where we need to be. And we continue to serve you. We continue to serve alongside you. And we thank you all so much for joining us on this show. We continue to say, we are Generosity Global. God bless. And we are out. See you next week. Bye.